Toys R Us didn't die because Amazon was better. It didn't die because kids stopped playing with toys, and it didn't die because the company failed to adapt. Toys R Us was already bleeding long before most people noticed. Behind the bright aisles and smiling mascots, Toys R Us was drowning in debt. Debt it never asked for. Debt it couldn't escape. Debt that quietly drained the company year after year. By the time customers started blaming Amazon, the real damage had already been done. This isn't a story about retail failure. It's a story about decisions made in boardrooms that employees and customers never got to vote on. For decades, Toys R Us dominated toy retail. Parents trusted it. Kids loved it, and financially, the company still worked. That's the part most people don't realize. When Toys R Us was put on the path to collapse, it wasn't failing, it was profitable. So, how does a company selling billions of dollars in toys still end up disappearing? The answer starts in 2005. That year, Toys R Us was acquired in a leveraged buyout. The buyers were Bain Capital, KKR, and Vornado Realty Trust. The price was about $6.6 billion, but most of that money wasn't theirs. It was borrowed, and that debt wasn't carried by the buyers. It was placed directly onto Toys R Us. Overnight, a healthy retailer became a company designed to service loans. On paper, the deal looked smart. Strong brand, steady cash flow, predictable sales. The plan was simple. Toys R Us would pay the debt. Investors would collect returns. But retail doesn't run on spreadsheets. Retail runs on reinvestment. Debt doesn't destroy companies instantly. It starves them slowly. After the buyout, Toys R Us spent hundreds of millions of dollars every year just paying interest. That money didn't modernize stores. It didn't improve online shopping. It didn't upgrade the customer experience. It disappeared into debt payments. While competitors invested in the future, Toys R Us was paying for its past. From the outside, everything still looked fine. Customers came, revenue flowed, but internally, flexibility was disappearing. Retail is a low-margin business. The moment you stop reinvesting, you start falling behind. Toys R Us didn't stop because it lacked ideas. It stopped because it lacked freedom. Every major decision came down to one question. Will this help pay the debt? If the answer was no, it didn't happen. This is why blaming Amazon misses the point. Yes, online shopping changed retail, but adapting costs money. And Toys R Us didn't have any to spare. The company looked profitable, but it wasn't free. That's the danger of leveraged buyouts. They create the illusion of success while quietly removing a company's ability to survive change. By the mid-2000s, Toys R Us was stuck. Stores felt outdated, online operations lagged, momentum faded. Not because leadership didn't care, but because there was no margin for error. Once retail starts slipping, it slips fast. When Toys R Us collapsed in 2018, the cost wasn't paid by investors. It was paid by employees. Over 30,000 workers lost their jobs. Many received no severance. One longtime employee said it best, "We were profitable, we just couldn't survive the debt." That sentence explains everything. Toys R Us wasn't destroyed by technology. It was destroyed by financial engineering that prioritized extraction over resilience. The investors got paid, the debt was serviced, and the company underneath slowly suffocated. Toys R Us didn't die because the world changed. It died because it was loaded with debt in a business that required flexibility. And once that happened, the ending was already written.